It's just great to have business besties. I don't know what else to call them other than that. They know everything about me and they help me through launches that are really stressful and emotional at times.
Hi, I'm Kim Tolson and I'm the traveling therapist. It's my passion to teach therapists how to navigate online private practices and multiple income streams so they can travel the world. I'm a digital nomad with a virtual insurance based private therapy practice and a multi six-figure coaching business. I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship and developing tools that can help therapists live an adventurous lifestyle. In this podcast, I will discuss my journey as a digital nomad. I'll chat with other traveling therapists and help you navigate the complexities of running an online insurance-based practice. I'm so glad to have you with me on this journey.
Welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Therapist Podcast. So this is my monthly update, letting you know what's been going on and how my journey as a traveling therapist is going, living as a digital nomad and running multiple income streams and all of that comes along with it. So let's see. I think my last episode, we were headed to Ormond Beach, which is in Florida. It's a coastal town in Florida, sort of between St. Augustine and Cape Canaveral. So where I left off last time, I'm trying to think, where was I? We had left the Poconos, we came down to Florida, just skirting Hurricane Ian. And then when we went to Ormond Beach, about a couple days after we got there, along comes Hurricane Nicole. So we were sort of surprised when we got to Ormond Beach to begin with, because Ian had really hit that beach hard. I didn't realize it had come through right there. A lot of the beach had already been eroded. A lot of the walkways that you had to use to get down to the beach had been destroyed, and there were just a couple that were still standing. And then, shortly after we got to Ormond Beach, Hurricane Nicole comes through and takes out the remaining bridges basically to get down to the beach. And the beach was super thin, where, a friend of mine lived there for a long time. She said it's not usually like that. So these two storms really did do some damage there. We had a great Airbnb there. It was super cute. We just kind of really took it easy. It rained a lot when we were there, so we didn't do a lot of just going out and exploring around there. And now we've moved on. We were there for a month and now we've moved on to Cape Canaveral. So we're actually like 1 block from the beach here. It's a real easy walk. You can almost see it from where we're staying. And when you get down to the beach, you can see the launch pads at Kennedy Space Center. So you can see like the rockets or the rocket launch platforms sitting up, just kind of waiting for a rocket to be placed on them. And you could totally see it from the beach from where we're sitting. We're excited to possibly see a launch go off. There's supposed to be one tonight at 5:30. We're rapidly learning that these launches get canceled constantly. So there's been, I think, 3 scheduled since we've been here, and we haven't been able to see one yet. One was going to be at 3:30 in the morning. We were going to get up and watch it, but it got canceled. So there's supposedly one tonight at 5:30. I think Ken will be able to see it. I'm probably not going to be able to because I have a hair appointment, which I've mentioned on here before are not easy to get around when you're a digital nomad. You have to find places everywhere you go to do your hair. A little tip, I recently realized the hair cuttery does pretty good job coloring your hair, and they have an online app and there's a hair cuttery everywhere. So it's gotten a little easier if you don't mind, getting your hair done at the hair cuttery. It's pretty cheap and quick and super easy. So this might be my brand new go-to everywhere we go. It's the hair cuttery. But anyway, so tonight there's going to be a launch, and there's maybe 3 or 4 other ones scheduled while we're going to be here. We're going to be here for the entire month of December. So hopefully we'll get to see at least a couple of those. It's pretty cool. So let's see. So this last month for me has really been a month of connecting with friends and family. So let's see. I'm a traveling therapist. We travel to these places, but then I want to go travel and see people and do all these things. So it's kind of an interesting thing. It's like you travel and then it's like, okay, we're staying here for a week or a month or something. And then it feels weird to actually travel somewhere else. But I actually did a lot of that this month. So I flew into Greensboro. My nephew was having a soccer tournament there. My sister and my 2 nephews went. So I flew into Greensboro for just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and got to hang out with them. It was super fun. Really enjoyed that. And, it does make me realize moving around is a lot of fun, but it also makes me kind of miss my sisters and my nephews and my dad. They're all back in Virginia. And, it used to be that I could just like go see any of them within a couple hours pretty much if I wanted to. But now, you got to hop a plane or really try to schedule stuff out. So that is kind of one downside to this lifestyle is, I'm so used to just like, oh, I want to go see my nephew playing a baseball game, or, my other little nephew is starting his first day of kindergarten. I want to just be there the first day. These are some of the things you sacrifice when you're moving around all the time. So that's been sort of in my awareness, especially with the holidays and everything going on. It makes it hard. We're all getting a little more spread out, a little more busy, less time to spend together over the holidays. So kind of sad, but also, it's a give and take this lifestyle. So that was fun anyway to get to fly up and see them for the weekend. So let's see, what else do we do? So in Ormond Beach, another connection there was really fun. I have a college roommate that lives in New Smyrna Beach, which is, I don't know, about thirty minutes from Ormond Beach. So it was really fun to reunite with her. I haven't seen her in quite some time. We've known each other about, I guess, 30 years now. It's hard to say that I was in college like 30 years ago, but we got to reunite. It was fun. We spent some quality time together. We did a 5K. She was already registered for, so I just joined her and her boyfriend to do that 5K. That was super fun. And then they invited us over for Thanksgiving. So we both went, Ken and I, to Thanksgiving at my friend's house. It was her boyfriend's house. We went over there. It was great. She's gluten-free like me, so that always makes it a lot easier that they were super aware of, somebody with celiac disease and how careful you have to be with cooking things and cross-contamination and all that. So that was a lot of fun to be able to do that. What else did we do? Oh, we went to like a wine walk down in downtown New Smyrna Beach. If anybody's ever going there or thinks about going there, it's the cutest little beach town. All these shops and restaurants. The beach down there was much better than the one where we were that had so much erosion. But that was super fun. I think they do it once a month there. And, it's just you go like pay $30 and you get a wine glass, and all the restaurants down there are participating, and you kind of walk in and out of each place, and there's live music. And it was just really fun to do that with a girlfriend. So I enjoyed that a lot. We just kind of walked around, had some wine, we relived some old memories, had a great time. And also this month, I took a trip out to Scottsdale, Arizona, spent 5 days with, these women that I call my business besties. They're just like my go to everything for business related stuff. If I'm frustrated, if I'm upset about something, if I'm trying to figure out a new strategy, and if I'm just trying to talk something through, I go to this group of women and they really give me the support. And it's just great to have business besties. I don't know what else to call them other than that. They know everything about me, and they help me through launches that are really stressful and emotional at times. So anyway, Megan Smith Gunnell is one of those. I don't know if you know her, but she's in the Thriving Therapist Facebook group. She runs that. She does these Thrive conferences, retreats, summits, whatever you want to call them. And she's planning one for 2024. We're getting ready to have one in Costa Rica in 2023, which you can still sign up for if you'd like to. I'm excited. I can't wait to go to that one. But she dropped us all a line and said, hey, you guys, I want to scout some places in Scottsdale, possibly for the 2024 Thrive retreat slash summit conference that she's going to do. And do you guys want to come out with me? We were like, heck yeah. So all six of us jumped a plane. We booked it pretty much in a week or two and jumped a plane. And we went out for 5 days. It was super fun. It was a business expense. We put it on our business credit cards because we did, talk about business a lot while we were there. We rented this super fancy, it was almost a mansion. I think it had, I don't know what classifies something as a mansion, but it had, I don't know, like 7 or 8 bedrooms. This place was crazy, huge, really nice. But with all of us, with our business cards, we were able to split the cost. And it was just really fun to stay in a place like that. We shared plans, we shared strategies, we talked about goals for the new year. We drank prosecco and wine. We went out to dinner, a couple really nice places. We went to a Nobu. I don't know if you've ever been to a Nobu, but it's so good. It's like, I think it's a Michelin star restaurant, but they're all over. I went to one in Newport Beach with Ken, and they had a tasting menu, which was, I think it was like 8 courses paired with wine, and it was all gluten-free. It was amazing. So if you are ever looking for a really great place to eat, I would definitely check out Nobu. So we went there, and there was also a place in Scottsdale for any of you listening that are, celiac or gluten-free, that it's entirely gluten-free, and they have donuts, they have honey buns, they have, just all these baked goods. They have fried chicken sandwiches. They've got just anything you could think of that you can't get in a restaurant. If you have celiac disease, they have it in this restaurant. It's called Jewel's Bakery. I think it's Jewel's Bakery, and Jewel as in Jewel, Jewel's Bakery in Scottsdale. And oh my gosh, yeah, they told us when we were there, they were rated the #1 gluten-free restaurant in Arizona. So if you're ever there, go check it out. It's amazing. So we got to do that. And, we just hung out, had a lot of fun, talked about business, talked about planning this summit for the next year. And, what's that going to look like? How does it align with all of our values? And, what is Megan's vision for the future with this stuff? And it's just really fun to talk about all of it. And then all of us have businesses that we're running and products we're launching and big ideas. We're just these like really multi-passionate entrepreneurs, and our energy feeds each other to grow bigger and stronger and solidify ideas and, you know, be brave around our ideas, taking chances with things we want to do. So it's just super fun. And, if you're multi-passionate at all or want to be entrepreneurial, I would just really recommend getting a group of women that have the same mindset and same energy that can cheer you on, because it helps so much. It makes such a difference. I don't know if I would be where I am with all of these different income streams if I didn't have this group of women to help me through. Who else was there? Gabrielle Viliani. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's a burnout coach. She specializes in Medicare. She's got a ton of things going on. She sold her group practice, and now she's coaching around how do you sell your group practice? How do you set it up for success if you want to sell it down the road? So she's amazing. Heidi, I'm going to butcher her last name. Hold on. Let me tell you exactly. I'll put links to everybody's stuff too if you want to check them out. They're amazing women. Heidi Schindelbeck. She's Megan's assistant, but she's also a yoga instructor. So she's super helpful with just like getting grounded and yoga poses and just like being connected to the earth and the moon, and just super fun. And then we had Ashley Hubbard. She was with us. She's amazing. She runs a group practice with a lot of interns. She's releasing some paperwork around onboarding interns that she's working on. She's got a ton of irons in the fire. Really proud of her. And then Andrea Bragnano, she was with us. You guys might know her. Achieve with Andrea. She has a membership that helps therapists do social media. So she gives you prompts and teaches you how to do reels and gives you, trending audio to use on social media like Instagram and that sort of thing. She's amazing. She taught us all how to really bring our reels up to the next level. There's a ton of stuff I do not know about that stuff, but she helped us all put a reel together. So we had a really fun time. And as I was saying, I just hope if you're in the space or you want to be in the space that you find a group of women that can really lift you up and help you get through stuff like this, because it's not all just like fun and easy to do. It can be pretty stressful and pretty emotional at times to have a bunch of different income streams coming in. So that was really fun. And what else? Oh, and then just last night in Cape Canaveral, Ken's sister and brother, or my brother-in-law, I consider them brother-in-law and sister-in-law. So Ken's sister and her husband are in Cape Canaveral for a few days. They're here to see the Kennedy Space Center and do some other things. And we got to meet up with them. It was super fun. They're a blast. Like, they're not on social media or anything, so you don't really know what's going on with them. But when you meet up with them, it's so fun because they're taking all these really cool trips. They're just like They were telling us last night they love to just go like Monday through Friday, like hop into a place and hop out 'cause they've got pets at home that they miss and they don't want to be gone for too long. But they take the coolest trips. Like they were just telling me they went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, I guess, last month, 2 months ago. And they were just like loving Halifax, like, oh, we could live here. It's so amazing. So they're telling us all about that.
Hi, I'm Whitney Owens. If you don't know about me, I'm the person behind the Wise Practice podcast, which is part of the Sightcraft Podcast Network. I'm so proud to be a part of this network along with Kim and the great work that she's doing to help people as traveling therapists. If you haven't discovered the Wise Practice podcast, you can find it anywhere you listen to your podcasts. I'd love for you to join me as we explore how to grow a faith-based practice that brings you the income you need and the lifestyle you want. Be sure to check out the podcast and other helpful information in helping you grow your faith-based private practice, such as the Wise Practice membership community or the 2023 Wise Practice Summit at whitneyowens.com.
One time they took a train through the Canadian Rockies, like just there's a train track. I don't even know what it's called. The Royal, if Michelle, if you're listening to this, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a train that takes you across the Rockies and it's supposedly gorgeous. And ever since they did that, I've totally had it on my bucket list to go there. They're also going to Banff, Banff in Canada, another place I would love to go. If you're into that sort of thing, check it out. It's beautiful there. So that was fun. It was fun to just meet up with them. They're like 2 miles down the road from our Airbnb. We found a restaurant that was gluten-free. We went to it last night. It was fantastic. And then they're off today to the Kennedy Space Center again. And Ken's daughter is coming in this weekend to stay with us. She and her boyfriend, they're coming in for the weekend. We're going to go to the Kennedy Space Center ourselves and maybe do a few other things around town while they're visiting. So, all of this got me thinking about an episode I did with Andrea Shipley. She is, I can't remember her episode number, but I interviewed her on this podcast and she has a schoolie. So I asked her in that episode, I was like, well, gosh, don't you get lonely? Because in my mind, she's by herself in this schoolie in the middle of the desert somewhere. She has her dog, but other than that, it's just her, and I remember just profoundly thinking during that episode, like, gosh, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could be brave enough to do it by myself. And two, I feel like I would get so lonely, but it's really occurring to me. And she answered, I can't remember her exact words. Her answer was, I don't get lonely at all because everywhere I go, I pretty much know somebody and I get to spend time with tons of people and I can stay as long as I want. And it's just, she's like, I never get lonely. And those aren't her words, those are my words, but it was something along those lines. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I'm really starting to realize that now. Almost everywhere I go, especially having the Traveling Therapist Facebook group and just being connected to so many of you guys, I pretty much know someone everywhere. And I'm pretty social. So I love to meet up and have coffee or, go out to dinner or something with people. I'm extroverted. Ken, not so much. He could take it or leave it. But for me, it's been really cool. And this last month is just an extension of that, just getting to see so many people do so much, even in the middle of still living this digital nomad lifestyle. So, it's just really fun. I just feel really blessed and grateful to be able to live this life and you just pick up and go and see friends and family and then come back to, this beach house we're in right now, right on the beach in Cape Canaveral. So it's just what a life, So what else did I have going on this month? Oh, in the middle of all of that, I took a huge leap and decided to relaunch my flagship membership, Feel Like a Boss. So a couple of things about that I thought I'd share, especially for those of you that have multiple income streams or you want to have more income streams, is when I started this membership, I took a course through this guy named Stu McLaren. Megan Smith Gunnell and I both did, and our friend Cindy Gonzowski. That's how we know each other. But we took this course. Look him up, Stu McLaren. If you've ever wanted to do a membership course, he's the guy to go to for that. So he taught us all this stuff. And at the time, I had this insurance billing course that is basically every single detail of insurance billing you could ever imagine if you want to do that in your private practice. But it was just, it's like a written course with lots of details and all of that. So at the time, I was like, I need a membership. I need a place where I can offer support and live help. And I got a lot of advice to put the two together, like the course and the membership together, just make it one big thing. But I don't know. What do I know about it? So all of my like infinite wisdom, I'm like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to keep the course separate and the membership separate because, maybe everybody doesn't need both. So I'm just going to make it two different products and do it that way. Well, that was a big mistake. And, I'm finally learning that, you know, it's one for me, marketing, it's a lot easier to have one product instead of like 1,000 products because there's only so much time, in the month or the year to promote a bunch of different products. So that was one mistake I made with the whole thing. And I'm just really sharing that in case any of you are looking for advice around that stuff or want to, you know, have a membership and a course and how to implement the two together. I've just really realized I should have done it all together all along. But, that's part of this process. You learn, later on what you should have done. And I can pass that knowledge on to you. So I hope that helps. Anyway, so I decided to combine the two together. And now it's the course and it's my membership. And in the membership, I learned that you're supposed to have what they call deliverables, which means pieces of content that your members can count on every single month that's going to help them progress in whatever you're trying to teach them and help them grow and, keep it interesting for them and keep them active and also progressing. So in Bill Like a Boss, the membership, we have two actual billers, which, they run a huge group practice where they're billing for tons of providers, but they also bill for other providers. So they have a whole billing company and they both happen to be therapists, which I think is really cool. So the three of us have teamed up and we're all three in Bill Like a Boss, our private Facebook group. And then once a week, we do a live billers meeting where you can come into the Zoom room with us and just tell us what's going on. And we walk you through any like issues you're having with insurance billing, try to help you understand it. And, we also have the private Facebook community, which is really cool. So if somebody has something come up, pop it in there. I do a video or I'm going to do a walkthrough and help you get through that if, if it's not office hours that day, because we'll go through it in office hours too. So that's been really cool. And then every Friday I do like a mini live training in the Facebook group around different topics or, industry standards, things that have changed. So I've got that, but now I've got the entire course too. So you can do all the live components, but you can also go over to the course and just look at the fine little details if you need help with something. So it's cool. I'm excited. I have my business manager that helped me with the launch. We got it all set up. We had tons of tech problems as usual. In fact, I did a free live event and I was supposed to stream it to my Facebook group and literally Zoom would not stream into Facebook that day. So these are the things that happened. It's never happened before and it hasn't happened since that I couldn't put that live stream into Facebook, but it happened that day. I had like 40 people sitting in my Zoom room and I could not put it into the Facebook group like I promised. So that was super frustrating. But this happens in a launch. Every launch, something goes wrong. So it's to be expected, I guess. Anyway, so the launch went really well. I almost doubled my membership, which makes me super excited. One, just because you build this thing, you want people to use it, you want to have a lot of people really benefit from it. So that's exciting. And two, I just want to help therapists be empowered in their insurance-based private practices. And some of you know my story, but the fact that my billers basically weren't doing their job and I didn't even know how to do their job. And I was just really stuck without any direction whatsoever. I never want someone else to be in that situation in their business because it was awful. So that's what prompted me to build all this anyway. But to bring that many new people in and to already I've had members in there for 2 years now, but to have just all of this continuing and growing bigger and bigger, it just like really warms my heart and gets me so excited. And just in general, building something from scratch and having people use it and benefit from it, it's just super rewarding. So anyway, that's what happened over the last month. I did a lot of visits with people. We traveled and we braved a hurricane and I did a complete product launch. So it's been an interesting month for me. Super excited. So if you're listening to this and you're insurance based, I also want to hear about what do you need in the new year? Like as far as webinars go, we've got 2 huge webinars already planned. One I'm recording next week, which is billing around substance use disorders for regular outpatient, IOP, and PHP. So it's going to be a really good directional webinar for anybody that wants to maybe even start substance abuse IOP and doesn't know how to do the billing, or just outpatient substance use disorder assessments, So we're going to cover all that. I'm excited about that. And then my friend Gabrielle, she and I are talking. We've got something we're cooking up. Excited about that. It's around burnout and an insurance-based private practice and how to manage all that. So this is going to be super helpful. I'm super excited. I cannot wait for that. I'm thinking maybe January, February, we'll see. And the other thing I have coming up is my course I'm releasing with Dr. Lisa Lovelace, and it's around multi-state practices. So, we've done a ton of interviews. We put a ton of content into this course. I think it's coming out the second week in January. Anything multi-state. So if you are a private practice owner, you want to branch out to multiple states for your group practice or your individual practice, we've got you covered. We've interviewed tax people, we've interviewed HR people, we've interviewed lawyers, we've talked to person-centered tech is in there with us. That was an excellent interview about ethics and all of the things you have to think about if you want to be a multi-state group or single practice. So that's coming out in January. Super excited about that. But anyway, let me know what you want to hear more about. I'd love for you guys to email me and let me know. It's info@kimtolson.com, KYMTOLSON.com. So that's what's going on with me. The last thing I just wanted to share with you, because we all know if we put things out into the universe, it becomes true. You can manifest goals that way. So on my weekend with my business besties, we talked about our goals for the new year, and I put some big, lofty goals out there. The first is I'm going to create a traveling therapist membership. I'm super excited about this. And I learned from my mistakes with the insurance billing stuff. The traveling therapist membership, I'm going to put the entire traveling therapist course inside of the membership. And every month, I'm going to have experts come in and train us and talk about different topics. And I have a ton of other ideas I'm going to put into the membership too. So I'm super excited about it. Oh, excuse me. So I'm super excited about it. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to launch. I'm thinking maybe February, something like that. And the other thing that they really sort of put a bug in my ear about, my business friends, is planning a live traveling therapist event. And, I was like, gosh, I don't know. And if you're listening and you have an idea, let me know what you'd like to do. But, I did one time take a Viking cruise. I don't know if you guys have ever done one of these Viking cruises, but Megan, I think it was Megan's idea, said, you should do a Viking cruise for the traveling therapist. And I was like, oh my God, because these things are super fancy. They're like, they go down, rivers all over. Me, I'd probably want to go like Mediterranean or something like that. But they're like, 100 people fit on these cruises. So it's like intimate. It's not like a big carnival cruise or anything like that. So that really sat well with me. I don't know. I don't know how expensive it would be because these things are generally pretty expensive. So I'm not sure, how you guys in the therapist community would take that or want that. But let me hear your ideas. Where should we go for a traveling therapist live event? I really like this idea of a Viking cruise, but we'll see. And I think there's other Viking or other river cruise lines that aren't as expensive. So I'm thinking, I don't know, it's an idea I just can't get rid of. And usually that for me is a sign that I should pursue something or look into it. So I might be putting that out there, just a cruise. I don't want trainings and CEs and all that stuff, just a place for us all to hang out, maybe like do some entrepreneurial brainstorming, but also just get to travel as therapists and friends and just have a great time. My other goal is I'm going to continue to grow Bill Like a Boss, and I want to help at least 1,000 therapists build their insurance-based practices in 2023. And the other two goals are I'm going to continue to be a sponsor for the Thriving Therapist Institute and all of the conferences and retreats that Megan puts on. I love sponsoring her events. The Traveling Therapist has been a sponsor at 2 of her events so far, the one coming up in February and then the one last May in Utah. So I want to continue to do that. I want to support her efforts and also go to these live events because I want to meet up with everyone that we interact with in our Facebook groups and say hello and get to know everybody personally. But also these summits are really cool the way Megan curates them. They're sort of higher end. They're a combination of education and also like retreating. So swimming in the pool or the ocean and doing excursions and just hanging out with like-minded therapists. So I'm excited about what's to come with all those. And lastly, I just want to make a goal to continue to support other multi-passionate entrepreneurs, my friends that, I've met through all of this, my business besties, support all of them so we can all continue to grow our businesses because I know that the better our businesses are, the more it's going to help more people and it's going to be a trickle down effect and continue to help everyone grow and improve themselves and have happier, healthier lives over time. So that's where I am this month. That's what's going on with me. I hope some of this has inspired you. If you are multi-passionate and an entrepreneur and you need some help with any of this, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I do coaching with people all the time. I probably see a couple therapists a week that need coaching around starting multiple income streams or just trying to do the traveling thing or even insurance-based practices. I recommend the membership really because I think you need something over time that's consistent that you can just like drop into and get help immediately when you need it. So, I would recommend that. But as far as the coaching goes for the multiple income streams, I can help you with that if you want that. But anyway, so I hope you guys are traveling. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, let me know. We're coming up on 1 year. I think this is the 50th episode. So that's kind of hard to believe because it was this time last year when I was like, I think I'm going to do a traveling therapist podcast. And now it's been a year, almost 50 episodes will be 52 will be a year. I just really can't believe this podcast. And I get emails every day from people saying, thank you for sharing all these stories. It's helped me become more brave around what I want to do, stepping outside of the box. And I love the impact that it's having on our community as therapists. And I know the happier we are, the better we can serve our clients. So that makes me really happy. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. I will be back next time with another episode, another therapist who's traveling and doing amazing things. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Traveling Therapist podcast. For show notes, links, and downloads, head over to thetravelingtherapist.com, where you'll be able to learn more about my journey, the courses I've created for you, and other exciting resources to make your dreams become a reality. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your traveling therapist friends, subscribe to the podcast, and if you love this episode, please leave a review.